Today's Best Music Magic 89.9. Welcome everybody to another round of interviews. I'm actually live right now, my God, in a hotel. It's been a while since I've done an interview out in the open. And ladies and gentlemen, it is with my pleasure to introduce everybody to our special guest of the day, because he is opening for none other than Calum Scott in 32 countries worldwide. He's here for about 24-ish hours.
Yep. It should be more. Next time it's going to be more, I promise.
Yeah, bro, you're just like right there. Like, it's not, New Zealand isn't that far off from the Philippines. You should come by more.
I should.
Right?
I should.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Magic 89.9, the one and only Mitch James. Hey, Mitch, welcome to Magic.
Thank you so much for having me, Smigs. I appreciate it.
For sure, bro. And how are you enjoying the Philippines so far?
I'm loving it. The people are amazing, very passionate and kind people. So, yeah, I'm very, very much enjoying my time so far.
I'm so happy, dude. And thank you so much again for taking time out of your very busy day.
Thank you for having me.
For sure, bro. And of course, you're opening again for Calum Scott all over the world, and you've been in several countries already at this point. How's that been like?
Yeah, it's been very full on. We started off in Estonia, of all places,
Wow.
and that literally couldn't be further away from New Zealand. It took me 42 hours to get there.
42 hours.
Yeah, and then straight into it. We did all of Europe, and then Ireland, the UK, and then we went over to Tokyo. Was the first stop of the Asian tour.
Yeah.
And then here we are in Manila tonight.
Nice, and it's lovely to have you over here, man. I
great to
can't
be
wait
here.
for people to hear your music, because,
Yes.
man, you have a new album coming out on November 4. It's called Patience, and I believe that it's been a roller coaster of a ride to make. So, dude, tell us more about Patience, the album, because I heard that it took 4 years to make. I've heard there were several mental health gaps in between, and I heard that the first iteration of the album, hundreds of songs written, all went into the bin.
Yes, yeah, they did, yeah. So basically, I started started writing this album even before my first album was out, and that was 2018. And so, yeah, I mean, there was just so many ups and downs. You throw COVID in the middle of it, and I'd done 2 iterations of the album which weren't accepted. And basically, I had to look in the mirror and take a real hard look at myself and figure out, why is this not working? And so I kind of figured that I had gone away songwriting-wise from what people expected from Mitch James, and that's honesty and not trying to be Mr. Popstar. It's trying to be an honest songwriter, and then with that comes the pop success. So yeah, I had to take a look in the mirror, and yeah, it took 4 years to get back to this stage, and I'm very, very grateful that I'm here. But it was a very up and down journey, that's for sure.
Man, well, they do say honesty is the best policy, and
Yes.
believe me when I say the best songs come straight from the heart and from experience. These pop songs, okay, yeah, they're there. But when you have someone who writes a song that's close and personal to them, man, it hits different. So this is why you have a single out already, Motions, if I'm not mistaken. And this song is actually like a taste of what people can expect from Patience.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like Patience as a whole, the way that I would summarize it is, I was a young man when I started writing this, and when I released my first album, and the whole next 4 years are the journey into being a man.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's summarized. I feel like Motions is the perfect title track, because it basically it summarizes, that whole journey of, the ups and downs, but coming through it with a positive attitude. And I feel like the rest of the album is every high and low in between it. There's happy, upbeat songs about, smiling through the worst of times. There's also super depressing breakup songs and everything. So it's a roller coaster, but I feel like life is a roller coaster, so that's the perfect sort of journey to take people on.
That's very true, actually. And how many songs actually can we expect on this new album?
There's 10 on this album.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah.
Spicy over there.
Yeah.
So, just going back into history a bit though here, how did you get started with writing music?
Writing music, I was always more of a a busker and a performer first. But I would write in my spare time. I think I wrote my first song when I was maybe 15 years old.
Wow.
And I wrote sparingly. I didn't write all the time. But yeah, when I was feeling something, and I would use it as therapy of sorts to get through, certain issues in my life. But it wouldn't be a very common thing to do. I would be just practicing more than I'd be writing. But as soon as I decided that this was something I wanted to take seriously, and this is what I wanted to do with my life, and especially when I signed my record deal, I was writing non-stop. And it's sort of, I haven't written a song in since I've been on tour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been quite busy. But yeah, I'm always writing about what's going on in my life, and it's a very crucial part of what I do now in terms of how I just deal with the things that are happening in my life.
That's honestly great therapy right there, because like once you're in your element and once you get everything that makes you happy in that element, it's like literally I call this passion with pay. Like when you find what you want to do and you can still like make a living out of it. So did you ever imagine that when you started writing your music, did you ever imagine that you'd end up on a world tour like this?
I would say yes and no. I feel like I've always had this part of me which has felt like there's this internal voice and drive that goes like, you're going to be something, you're going to help people and give them positivity from your music, but there's also that kid who nothing ever good had happened. So it was always a constant battle with which voice is going to win. Am I going to drown myself out and say no, like I can't do it, I've got to do an office job or something like that, or the voice which goes, no, I believe that I can help people and I can change people's lives with my music. And I think no matter what you do, there's always going to be those two voices, whether you're in business or whether you're in radio. Like there's a voice and there's a voice going, yes, I can do it, and there's a voice going, no, I can't do it. And it's up to you which voice you will let win, and whatever voice is loudest, I feel, will always win.
Hey man, it's always about taking the plunge, right,
yes.
in life.
Oh,
and
yes.
Dude, like I'm so happy you took the plunge and went into music, because dude, like your music is great. You already have an album and a charting single under your belt, if I'm not mistaken, back in New Zealand.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, to take that plunge and make it all the way out here to the Philippines, performing your music, actually all over the world performing your music, that's the payoff right there, I'd have to say. And I do believe also that, you did mention that your music is very introspective. It's very much about your experience in life. And I do recall reading up somewhere online that you mentioned somewhere in your songs that each tattoo of yours tells a different story, and it's mentioned somewhere there. So could you tell us over here in Magic, what is your favorite tattoo? Because dude, your ink is gorgeous, and this is so well detailed and well shaded. Like I couldn't stop staring at it.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, there's so many stories, and all of these represent a different story in my life. But I think the one that's most important to me would probably be this one here, which represents London. It was the first tattoo I ever got, and so this is the first place I busked outside of, and the first place I slept outside of, and the silhouette of me busking in the London night, I guess you would call it, is. It's a very important part of my journey, and it sort of resembles that battle of those voices where I was like, this is the time where I'm going to listen to that yes voice, even though nothing is working in my favor. I have no money, I have no contacts, I have no idea what I'm doing essentially, but I'm just going to let that passion and that drive take me to wherever God wants to put me. And so, I love this tattoo, and it reminds me to always be humble and reminds me where I came from.
Dude, that is amazing. So you slept outside in London. You were just there busking on sidewalks, street corners, and everything, right?
Everywhere that I didn't get told off by the police.
Of course, may the bobbies. I'm pretty sure they're on the beat down for that.
Yeah, well, you needed a license, and
what? Really?
Yeah, and the audition process was super long. I didn't have time for that or the money. It was probably like £20, but I still didn't have the money to apply. So I would just go around and busk and move around, and yeah, I did it all throughout Europe at the end of that year, and yeah, it was where I cut my teeth, I suppose.
So, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you also opened for someone who used to do that way back in the day. You also opened for Ed Sheeran at some point, right?
Yes.
What is that like?
It was incredible. It was, you know, it was at a stadium in New Zealand in front of 40,000 people every night, and I mean, Ed he's exactly what the public perceives him to be. He is a humble, down-to-earth, kind, genuine, caring guy, and you know, he will reply to every email I send. You don't have to do that when you're the biggest pop star in the world. And so, yeah, it was an incredible experience. He was so caring, and he would come up to me before every show and come into my room and have a chat, and yeah, he's just a really incredible human being, and he deserves every single last bit of success that he's had.
Coming from someone who sounds exactly like that as well, like incredible as a human being, humble, down to earth, man. Okay, that's I guess kindred souls find each other in there.
Thank you, brother.
And of course, I just actually want to ask you as well, Mitch, with your new album coming out in just a few weeks, November 4 again, everybody, don't forget, November 4. What is your favorite track on there?
Yeah, this is the classic cliche artist answer of they all have particular meaning to me because they're all stories from my life.
Yeah.
I think the song that I would be most proud of is a song called "Home Is Lonely," which is about finding success, and it's not necessarily just music. It's about finding success in anything in the world, and all of your support system that you grew up with, and all your old friends, and everything back home changes. And you know, I basically tell a story of how I would drink with my friends when we were younger, and now when I celebrate, I'm alone because they feel like we have this thing in New Zealand called tall poppy syndrome, where like people want you to succeed, but not too much, because you'll stand out too much, and they'll cut you down. Unfortunately, it is, yeah. And so it's very ingrained in our culture. And so this is my song about that and my experience with that, and you know, the friends that I grew up with, you know, who talk shit behind my back when I'm gone, and things like that. And I think it's, in a sense, I don't want to sound like a dick, but it's jealousy and the fact that some people don't do what they want to do, but when you do your dreams and you achieve your dreams, it's not all rainbows and Skittles.
It is definitely not. And honestly, like, I think that exists in many countries worldwide, because even over here, I've had experiences with people who are exactly like that. We just don't have a name for it.
Yeah.
But my goodness, dude, like, I can't wait to hear the song, actually, because I'm pretty sure so many people can relate to exactly what that song is trying to convey.
Yes.
And my goodness, dude, Mitch, like, that's gonna be insane. So of course, before I wrap things up over here, you're on a world tour. You have an album coming out. You have a lot of 10 great songs about to drop. Well, 9, because Emotions is already out. Sorry, math is not my strong point. I keep saying this.
That's why we're in radio and music.
Exactly.
10 plus 10 is 15.
2 + 2 equals fish. Favorite thing from one of my favorite animations back in the day. But anyway, what is next for Mitch James?
Yeah, so the album's out November 4th. This tour wraps up in South Africa November 26th. So I think from November and December and January, I am going to sleep.
Okay, I was going to say, this actually sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep, rest, but I'll be touring. I'll be doing my own tour, hopefully in many places across the world, sort of April, May, June next year, and then I'll probably write another album and go and do it all over again, I would say. So yeah, no rest for the wicked, but I mean, I love this job, and it's such a blessing to be able to, you know, perform for people, and you know, it gives me joy to see the joy that I can bring. So it's a self-fulfilling sort of thing, and I just love it, man. As long may it continue. And you know, for me, like you know, I was in Tokyo the other night playing a show, and and to see in the crowd a crowd full of Japanese faces, and it'll be the same tonight, a crowd full of Filipino faces, that I just have to pinch myself and remind myself that I've come so far from busking on the street to nobody, that I soak up every moment that I can and be as grateful as I can. So long may it continue. I have no idea how long it will, but long may it continue.
Dude, just continue that dream, continue that upward climb, because man, like, they say the sky's the limit. I don't believe that. The stars are out there. There's cosmic background out there, dude. Like, there is no limit. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep that burning passion for it alive, because my goodness, dude, like, you have the passion, you have the talent, and you have the drive. Why not, right?
Exactly, why not? I appreciate you, Smigs. Thank you so much, brother.
For sure, Mitch. Thank you so much again for taking time to be with us here today on Magic 89.9. And before I let you go, any final words as well for your Filipino fans out here?
Yes, to all my Filipino fans, thank you for being such passionate, loving people. I am so, so grateful for your support so far, and I cannot wait to come back and play my own shows and hopefully have a bunch of music out for you soon. So thank you so much. Mahal ko kayo.
That's love right there, folks. Again, Mitch James from New Zealand opening for Calum Scott, and soon to do his own shows here in Metro Manila. Make it happen.
Absolutely.
Asian tour. Guys, again, don't forget to check his album out, Patience. It's been a long time waiting, so patience is the keyword over here for the album, November 4. Once again, folks, my name is Migs Santillan, and we are today's best music, Magic 89.9.